Hello and good morning and welcome to the first episode of my Bea Creative Podcast. My name is Elena Gilpin. You can find me at Bea Creative on Ravelry or Elena M. Gilpin on Instagram, which I will link below in the show notes. So hello and welcome again. I'm a little nervous. This is my second time recording. I tried to record this a few weeks ago and it just didn't go well. So I tried to make some show notes, which I will be referring to. I'm coming to you from sunny Tampa, Florida. I almost said Tallahassee. I moved from Tallahassee after living there for about a decade in the midst of the pandemic. So just about a year ago. So I'm still getting used to saying Tampa, but I just wanted to hop on and start a podcast. Yay! I've got my See the Good in All Things mug, which is one of my favorites right now, and some very dark black coffee. It's my third or fourth of the morning. So good. I am a coffee addict and I need many a cup to get through the morning. So anyway, yeah, let's just jump in. A little bit about me. Like I said, I am here in Florida. I moved to Tampa about a year ago with my husband and my son and our cats and our dog. And I live in this like really cool, almost 100-year-old home in Seminole Heights. Which, if anybody's in Tampa, anybody in Florida knows, it's like a very kind of fun cross between like urban and neighborhood type living. I mean, we're, like 10 minutes from downtown Tampa, but we've got just the best neighbors around, and this neighborhood is like notorious for cats, which I'm a self-proclaimed cat lady, so it's very exciting. I love seeing cats all around my neighborhood when I walk with my son in the morning and the afternoon. So yeah, that is a little bit about me. Like I said, I have a husband and a little more than a year-old son. For those mamas out there, he is 16 months. I never counted in months until I had a tiny human. So if you don't, then it's about a year old. Yeah, so let's talk about Bea Creative. When I was pregnant with my son, decided that I wanted to kind of look at my life and see what I wanted it to look like long-term. I had been kind of struggling for a while, just with finding my place in the world. And I wanted to figure out what that looked like. So my husband told me, like, really think about if you could have anything, do anything, be anything. Like, you'd wake up in the morning and what would happen? And I thought about it and I just thought, oh God, I would just love if I woke up in the morning and I made my coffee and I had my kid and I took my kid, and I was pregnant. I didn't know I was having a boy at the time. This is essential to the story. I have my kid and take my kid to school or whatever, and then I go to a little shop and I have the keys. I'm the owner, and I open it up, and it's just this place for makers and creative humans to be together. And there would be a section for knitters and a section for painters and other artists and other makers. There would be a section for books and hopefully a coffee area, and so I thought that's kind of what I want, and I would love to start small with an Etsy shop, which I have an Etsy shop, but I don't have anything in it. I haven't done anything with it, and then build from there. And at the time, like I said, I didn't know what I was having, and we always knew if we were having a boy what his name would be. He'd be named after my husband's grandfather, who helped to raise him, basically his dad. So we knew that, but we both really wanted a girl. It's so cool to be a boy mom. I just, my husband and I really just thought we were gonna have girls. So I just had her name like in my head. Her name was gonna be Beatrice Wyatt. And so there is where I got Bea Creative from. It's BEA, as in B for Beatrice. Her nickname was gonna be Bea. And I wanted some place that was, because I'm a big knitter, but I wanted something that was more than just focused on even just fiber arts. I wanted it more than that. And so Bea Creative kind of erupted into my brain. So that's why this podcast is called Bea Creative. It's my husband is an accountant, and so he immediately got on the IRS whatever and registered Bea Creative as an LLC. So I literally haven't done anything with it, but I think it's like $40 to do that. So he did that for me, and here we are in 2021. It's May 12th. I'm looking at my computer calendar. May 12th, 2021. And here I am. So that's Bea Creative. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about my crafting background and how I got into crafting and what that looks like in my life. It is a very big part of my life. I started knitting when I was 14. Now I'm gonna say that with a caveat. We were on our family vacation to Panama City Beach from South Florida. So it was a long drive for anybody that gets Florida in the U.S. It's a long state, and when you're going from the very bottom to the tippy top and over, it's about 8 to 10 hours. It's a long drive. So my mom had learned somehow, I don't know how this happened, but she learned a basic knit stitch and a basic cast on. It's a back loop cast on. So she just taught us that, me and my stepsister at the time. And we just spent most of the time knitting. It was a great way for me to be working with my hands and doing something. This was pre-Facebook, even pre-MySpace for me, I think. I was going into high school. So yeah, it was pre-MySpace for me. I think I had a Razor flip phone. So I was not texting anyone. That's just not something I was doing. And I wasn't super into books then. I didn't really get into reading until mid-high school when the Twilight thing really hit me hard. So I just was all consumed with this, but I never finished anything. I would buy yarn, I would buy needles, I would start, put it down, never finish anything. Until 2018, I decided to pick it up, and I was like, I'm gonna finish something. I'm an adult, I need to finish something. So I did it, and I was just, again, all consumed in knitting and was so excited to learn new stitches and actually finish things. I obsessively shopped Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Joann Fabric and made many Christmas presents that year. They're terrible. I look back, I actually have my first finished scarf, and it is awful. I wish I had brought it out. It's in my bedroom, which I'm not gonna walk back there. Not that it's very far. I have a very small house. And for anyone that has a historic home, this even has an add-on. So it was less than 1,000 square feet when the original build was. And the add-on is not big. It's the sunroom that I'm staring into. So anyway, so it's just so bad. And then I just started really picking it up from there, and have just been watching lots of YouTube. I've been really recently super obsessed. I watched from start to finish. So I hope, Stacy, I hope you watch this at some point, but I watched from your inception of your podcast all the way until now. Stacy Elstone of Stressness Yarn. I've been watching Jaclyn Salem, Volenvine, The Grocery Girls, lots of podcasts. But I think it's Pink Knits, Very Pink Knits, something like that. That's my go-to for tutorials, and I'll link her channel in the down bar as well, because she has helped me every time I have a new cast on or a new stitch, or I'm not really getting it. If I've Googled it and I see the image and I'm like, oh, what about this? she does amazing tutorials. I mean, it really is like having a teacher work with you. So I've just been doing that for the past, few years. And then mid-pandemic, I got into die cutting. And I'm actually wearing something that I made. So this is a great transition to finished objects. So this is a Whataburger t-shirt with, help me out here. I actually have put down my die cutting since Christmas because I just went crazy and made so many things on my Cricut. Iron-on vinyl, duh. It's with iron-on. On just a really soft t-shirt. I made it for my husband because, like I said, we lived in Tallahassee, and for those of you in South Florida or in Florida in general, you know, like some fast food chains are only regional. And I'm a self-proclaimed fast food junkie. I love fast food. Like, it's a problem. Like, I eat Chick-fil-A at least 1 to 3 times a week, depending on the week. And every time we go to Tallahassee, we go to Whataburger, and so I made this for him. He won't wear it because he says it makes him feel like a fat kid. So I was like, okay, I'll wear it. But just kind of dialing back a little bit, I have a Cricut Explorer Air 2 in mint green. It's so beautiful. And I have the matching Easy Press. Is that what it's called? I'm gonna look at this. Yeah, Easy Press. I have the mid-size, and I also in mint, and then I also have the mini, which you can see right here, in raspberry. So I have been die cutting obsessed for the past year. Love it, love it, love it. I've made multiple t-shirts. For Christmas, I made a ton of keychains for extended family out of leather, and talk about great homemade gifts. I always think I'm gonna save money when I make gifts from home. You don't, but it's nice, and it's really cool to do it. So anyway, yes, let's transition into finished objects. This is finished object number 1 that I'm wearing. Like I said, I just picked up the t-shirt from, I think we have a killer Joann Fabrics here. It's like huge, like a Walmart size Joann Fabrics. So it's a really soft cotton t-shirt, and this is a plain white iron-on. And I definitely jacked the logo from the internet and then just worked it in Design Space. So I'm not going to talk a lot about Cricut today because like I said, have put it down since Christmas. I just kind of went a little crazy on it, and my eyeballs started to bleed, and so I've just kind of put it down. I will be picking it back up, but I've been knitting obsessed. So I just finished my very first like really nice project for myself with knitting, and it's my first finished object with indie dyed yarn. I've bought so much indie dyed yarn, and I get nervous to work with it because I don't want to stain it or mess it up, or for this particular project, I think I started and frogged 4 projects with indie dyed yarn, including what ends up being my finished project. But that means I just knew the project pretty much by heart, so I was able to start and finish it in a week. So this is West Knit, so Stephen West, Dotted Rays. I did a fade, which for my first time, which I think is pretty cool. Here it is. I did the small size. I'll put a picture up, hopefully, if I can work it. And you can see this on Ravelry too. So I did make some modifications to this pattern. So the Dotted Rays is worked in a garter stitch, but I just love the way a stockinette looks. So I did it. Sorry if you can hear my chair like squeaking. It's actually my husband's office chair. I have like a janky dining room chair that when he's at the office, like he goes in a couple days a week, I definitely jack his chair because it's so, I mean, look at this thing. You can hear it, but it's so comfortable. So anyway, so this is a beautiful stockinette, and then this is the wrong side if you like a purled look as well. And so I just think it's really fun. The yarn, look at this. I don't know how I feel. I fell in love with this skein. It's So Happy Jane, which I have somewhere. Oh, right next to you. Hello. This is my little bag of labels. This is a little reusable bag that I got at Target for my son's snacks. And then I'm like, I don't like cleaning them. I just don't. So I'd rather put it in like a Tupperware. And so anyway, I use this for my labels. So this is So Happy Jane. I have so many I don't have that many. I have like 3 of her labels in here. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the right one. That's pistachio cream. Like I said, So Happy Jane. I've said it about 3 or 4 times. And it is Cabin in the Woods. I can't seem to find it off the top of my... I mean, like, I know that it's in here because I specifically put it in here. And I practiced one time last week, like I said, but I can't find it. So anyway, I'm just going to show you her basic. This is... It doesn't come with this. That's from a different label. So Happy Jane. I think it's an 80-20 merino and nylon. It's not pistachio cream. It's Cabin in the Woods. And I really fell in love with this skein when I saw it on my local yarn shop, on their website. I think that they did like a live also. I'm wearing shorts, by the way, so if you saw my super pale legs. But it's so variegated. I don't know how I feel about that piece. I don't know. I think if I had done like a lace with it instead of just like a dotted, I think maybe I would like it better. But what made me fall in love with it was I did a fade. I've never done a fade before. So the 2 orange colors are from a mini skein set that I got from Stress Knits Yarn, Stacy Elstone, which I'll also link in the down bar. Gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch this to make sure I link all the things I'm telling you. I'm not lying to you. So they're from I got the Ranunculus. Ranunculus mini skein set. So it's a very like peachy into a more orange, a deeper orange. And then the red is Darlene, the Darlene colorway by Copper Corgi. And I'm just coming up, how is it that I don't have this in front of me? I know that I practiced with this, so I must have just placed them somewhere else. I'm looking, nope. Okay, Copper Corgi, she's an awesome independent dyer here in Florida. I think she's on the Satellite Beach, the east coast of Florida. If I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. It's likely. But it's this beautiful, I'll show you the right side, this beautiful tonal red. Not super my style. Don't let the choker fool you. I am very much a neutrals type of person, but I found that in my knitting, I like to just go for it. And that is just my very favorite part of this project. I love the I-cord also. And, you know, I've heard people not complain, but like talk a little bit about the I-cord bind off. I thought it was kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. Granted, I made the small size. Like, I think if I made the large size, it would have been a different story. But, so yeah, so this is my dotted rays, and I really like it. I probably won't wear it as like a shawl as much as a scarf. And I blocked it. It was my first blocking project also. I blocked it with Tuft Woolen's Cucumber the Eucalyptus, which I also bought from Stacy with Stress Knits Yarn. And Stress Knits, by the way. I keep saying Stressed Knits, but it's Stress Knits. In my brain, it's the other one. But anyway, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's really fun. And like I said, I wear a lot of neutrals, so it'll be something fun that I can throw on like an army green jacket with in the fall/winter. We don't really have fall in Florida. our winter is your fall if you're north of, you know, Mason-Dixon is this way, right? If you're north of Georgia, our winter is your fall. So, and it lasts no time at all here in Tampa. The one saving grace the one thing I really love about my house is that it has terrible insulation. So in the, does that look okay? No, that looks terrible. So in the winter, it feels cold in my house. So anyway. So that's finished object. That's my only finished object, I think. Yeah, I have a hoe, one hoe, and quite a few whips. I am queen of the cast on, and I don't frequently finish things. So, oh no, I lied. I have another finished object, which is terrible. It's my first pair of socks that I did, and I mean, they don't look bad, but look how big they are. So this was a toe-up pattern. I think it was a free pattern on Pinterest or Ravelry. And let me just tell you how important knowing your yarn is. I mixed up the labels for this beautiful, and they're kind of fuzzy because I still wear them even though they're way too big for me. But this is a silk blend. This is a single ply silk blend. It is not made for socks. I thought it was a nylon blend, and like if you're new, the more you work with the yarn, the more you'll get to know it. And you know, you'll get to know the feel and the look and the twist of something that is made for socks. This yarn, which I love, it's a great, I think it's 75-25 merino nylon. It was a sample yarn that I got from my local yarn shop that was on sale. So it doesn't have a color way. It's like a number, which anyway, can't get it again, so it doesn't really matter. So I think I'm gonna frog these. I've used this yarn again to make my mom some socks with some really beautiful 100% merino stripes, heel, toe, and cuff. And it worked out really well. And so I also used the right size needles like these. I think I used a size US 6 for socks, y'all. Stop. It was my first pair. I had no idea. So anyway, that's a finished object. Like it fits my husband's foot. And so they're very, very big on me. So that is probably gonna get frogged. But my hoe, my half finished objects, which I'm kind of like, shouldn't it be a faux? Anyway, whatever. More coffee. Y'all are probably thinking like I need it. Yes, I do say y'all. I'm from South Florida originally, but I have really embraced many of the colloquialisms. I think that's a word. And the vernacular of the South. And I love it. I love y'all. I'm not a bless your heart type person. It really drives me nuts when people say bless your heart. Anyway, when I say that I start a project and like have to frog it and start over again, I think I did this 3 times because it's for my husband and he's got like, his calves are like this big. I mean, he's got a 10-inch foot from heel to toe. So I haven't blocked this. I don't know if I will. I've read that a lot of people don't block their socks. And I really don't want to buy a large set of sock blockers. Like I'd like to get a set of sock blockers for me because I'm going to make a lot of socks for myself and for other people I think who have small feet, like my mom. But I kind of just feel like he can just wear them. So this yarn, I know that I have in here. Well, I knew I had the other ones in here, but anyway, yes, I do. Okay. Maybe I just have one. I'm looking for my yarn less traveled. Probably not. You guys are just gonna be like, Elena, stop looking for your, like maybe have them at the ready. Clearly I don't have my yarn less traveled. Okay, so So this is the body of the sock and the foot are done in Yarn Less Traveled 747 sock, and the colorway is Alluvium. That's Alluvium. And I just fell in love with it because it was nice and dark. I want him to be able to wear these like in the fall and winter when he's going to client meetings or the office, like when he's wearing his business casual. So, but then somebody said that it looks like Dwight Schrute, and now that's all I can see, you guys, is like the gray tones and the mustard. But my husband loves yellow, and I didn't want to make him bright yellow socks. So the next best thing for me, which somebody else was like, that's not yellow, that's whatever. In my mind, it's like a gold. Is this, look, I have it, Farmer's Daughter Squish Fingering. It's 100% superwash merino in the colorway Eagle Eye. And it's just a basic vanilla sock. I think it's like a $2 pattern on Ravelry. Like I said, I'll try and link that also, with a heel flap and gusset. And then a Kitchener stitch on the, it's stud cuff down with a Kitchener stitch on the toe. So that's half finished. And the other half has been on my needles for months. I was supposed to give it to him for his birthday, which is in March. Y'all, we're in May. Maybe he'll get him for Father's Day. Anyway, there's that. Also, this is a fun little spinny yarn holder thing that I got from my local yarn shop. When I say local, I mean Fuzzy Goat in Tallahassee. I will also link them. They're not in Tallahassee, they're in Thomasville, Georgia. They were local to me when I was in Tallahassee because Thomasville's only 30 minutes away. It's just a hop over the border. But every time I go back home to Tallahassee to visit my in-laws, I make a trip out there. I have to, like I can't not. I do have a local yarn shop here in Tampa. I've only been once, and that'll lead me into my other, another whip. And I do have a label for this. So I went on local yarn shop day to, it's called Stash, a place for yarn. And they've got, I think the original location is in St. Pete, but we also have a location here in Tampa. It's tiny, it's cute. I don't know if I met the owner, but the ladies in there that were nice. And then there were some ladies knitting. They were just sitting and knitting and like in their masks, and it just made me feel so good. But I shopped the sale section because I didn't have a lot in my budget for yarn. I just kind of planned to stop in and look at it. And I found this amazing cotton DK, which I've never really knit with DK before. I pretty much strictly shop the fingering. I think because it's so delicate, and I just, you know, and I want something lightweight because I'm in Florida. But anyway, so this is the cotton wool from We Are the Knitters in the colorway Natural. It is 100% Peruvian Pima cotton, 100 grams, 232 yards. Y'all, it's so soft. And so I'm making the Anchor summer shirt. I'm making the size extra large because I'd like to have it a good amount of positive ease. I think my bust size is about 41. And so I want to say, actually I can look, I've got my patterns. I'm going to make a little booklet, a binder with patterns, because I just kind of have them all together. I had my husband print a bunch when he went into the office because we don't have a printer here. So the bust for the size extra large is 110 centimeters, which really means 43¼ inches. I'm not knitting it very tightly. Generally, I'm a very tight knitter, but I'm trying not to. You can see my gauges like all over the place if you look at it. But I'm just trying to, it's my very first garment that I'm knitting. So I'm gonna move you guys. You're on a little rolly rack from IKEA, which is nice. So I'm really excited. I'm finishing up the body now. It's going to be pretty cropped. I'd like to be able to wear it over dresses, or with some like higher waisted. I wear a lot of high waisted linen pants. I probably won't wear jeans because I've got I've got like a mom body. I'm gonna be honest, this body was my body before I was mom. But I do have some changes where I've got like a little more pooch here and I just get insecure. So I probably won't wear it with jeans, but dresses, skirts, looser fitting, linen-y pants. So I'm gonna knit it pretty cropped. I think I'm gonna do another couple inches. And then you got my cute little stitch marker. And then do the ripping and finish off. And I think I'll do like a pretty short sleeve. I've got a little tattoo sleeve that I like to show off. So I like to roll my sleeves up generally. So I think I probably will go to about where my sleeves hit me now, honestly, maybe right there. So a few inches. So that should be done the next time I talk to you guys. I'm hoping for this podcast to be bi-monthly, twice in a month, whichever that is. Yes. Also, these things are amazing. I got this, so before I go on to my next whip, because I've got 3 more to show you and then I'll wrap it up because this video is getting a little long. I was showing my whip when I was working on my dotted rays to Cadence Kidwell, the proprietress of, she calls herself that, I love that, proprietress of Fuzzy Goat Yarn Shop in Thomasville. I was up there for Mother's Day, and so I was showing her what I was working on. I was feeling so proud of myself, and then I stabbed my pretty sharp Chiao needles into my ball of yarn, and her eyes just went kind of big, and she was like, "That's actually really bad for your yarn." And I felt so embarrassed, right? Because I'm like trying to show off what I'm working on. But she was so sweet about it. She was like, "This is what you need. It's just like a metal tube that has this cool little cap on it, and you just stick your needles in it." She gave me one. These things are like, I don't know, 14, 15 bucks. She gave me one. She was like, "Here, this is for you." So nice, so kind, and like, that's just like, I feel like a maker spirit. Just like, hey, I see that you're doing something that maybe is not the best for, like, something that I know you love, and like, I try to be very respectful of my yarn, especially wool or cotton, like basically any non-acrylic yarn. I try to be super respectful of it and wash, like, especially with indie dyed yarn, washing my hands before I use it, because people put a lot of work into creating it, and I put a lot of work into crafting an object. So she was just so kind about it, and even though I was embarrassed, it wasn't because she made me feel that way. It was just because that's who I am. I like to be right all the time, and I was not doing the right thing. So anyway, she actually gave me a pink one, and then I bought the blue one. I'm gonna probably get a couple more just because I do prefer circular needles, and it's like amazing. It's a lifesaver. So anyway, that is my Anchor summer shirt whip. Move on to my little whips, and then one that I'm really excited about that I started yesterday. So this is what I call my car knitting. When I'm riding in the car, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm driving sometimes, but I kind of think it's no worse than texting and driving. I don't know. I know I shouldn't. I know any kind of distracted driving is bad. I generally will say that I do it at red lights, or if I'm waiting for a curbside pickup like Chick-fil-A or Target. This is my prime stuff. / like I said, when I'm riding in the car, when my husband is driving. So I'll show you my float shawl first. This I also acquired during local yarn shop day. I ordered it online from Fussy Goat. Can you tell I'm obsessed with them? Yes, I am. But it's a Tallahassee dyer. Her name is also Elena, which I love, spelled differently. But it's knitwise fiber. I definitely have this in front of me because I just saw it like 6 times when I was looking through this stash here. Is it hiding from me? That's so rude. It's hiding, but I found it. Okay, knitwise fibers in the Icky Azalea, like icky, like gross. Icky Azalea. It's her floofy fingering, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 100 grams, 437 yards. So, look at Look at this. It's so cute. I wish I did not bring my box of stash. I might include it in a separate video, but when I do, I'll show you. So she dyed this along with several other colorways specifically to accommodate this float pattern for local yarn shop day. So float is a really fun pattern you can find on Ravelry. I'll link it in the down bar, but it's for yarn that is tonal and then goes from one color into another for large stretches. And this is this like super deep purpley pink, and then it'll go into a really barely there pink and into a white, which you can see on there. And so when you do start to have the color changes, you create these, and my florets are not the best, but you create these little almost like flowers. And I was reading the pattern, it said like it should kind of look like it's floating, flowers floating in the wind or floating on water, depending on the color of your yarn. But it's completely random based on the yarn. A lot of people say this looks like a sock or like a little one of those caps, you know, that you wear when you're going to sleep. When you're going to sleep, like in the many hundreds like of years ago, like 1700s, whatever. Scrooge would have worn this as a hat, y'all. Okay, so it is an asymmetrical shawl. There is another pattern similar to this one that is a triangle shawl that is not asymmetrical. So it's just a basic triangle instead of asymmetrical. If you are more into that, I can also link that in the bio. It starts with a C. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But so you do this. It's super easy because it's just stockinette. You're just knitting across until you get to your floret, and then you're flipping it over and purling across. There are some extra pieces of the pattern that I just won't, reveal because it's a paid pattern, and I think that we should honor our makers and our pattern makers specifically who work really hard to make these patterns. So anyway, I think that'll be pretty. I think that'll be really nice with like a nice gray or denim or black, or cream. Probably not cream actually because it's so white. Navy. I wear a lot of neutrals, like I said. So that's really fun. I'm really enjoying working on that. I need to get another one of those things for that project. Also, my project bag. This was my Notions bag for a while, and it was just way too big for a Notions bag. But I got this at the dollar section at Target many moons ago, like at the beginning of the year, It's I don't know if it's supposed to be a makeup bag or what. It says you're like really pretty, which I love. But it fits 2 small projects in it, and that's super fun for me. So my next one, I'm really excited to show you, and I'm gonna pull out the yarn. It's Nomadic Yarns in the colorway Neat Cute. Trusty sock, 462 yards for 100 grams, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. They're on Etsy. It's probably one of my favorite yarns that I've ever gotten. Also, so is Knitwise, by the way. This Knitwise fibers that I was just talking about, it's one of the softest yarns I've ever felt. So kudos to you, Elena. I don't know who your mill is, or if you're doing a specific treatment, but you're doing a great job. So I'm doing a basic vanilla sock on 9-inch circular needles for this. Look at this colorway, y'all. This is self-striping yarn. That's what Nomadic Yarn does, and they do best. And it's so beautiful. I just did the gusset, and so I'm working the foot now. I mean, it's just so beautiful. And this is where I started the other day in the car. I was working on it the whole way home from Tallahassee. It was about a 4-hour drive. So 4 hours is not bad to get from mid leg to foot. I love the way this yarn smells, you guys. I'll show you the ball. Actually I need to grab some of this red. It smells like, and I don't know if everyone likes this, but I love it, when you go to the doctor and the doctor has really clean hands, like freshly washed, there's like a specific smell to soap that doctor's offices use, and I love it. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So anyway, so pretty. I love, I wasn't a huge fan at first of the navy and the yellow together, but because they're so stark, like the contrast, but with the pink and the teal and the way that it I think it's so beautiful. So, and it's my first time using, these are Chiagu 9-inch circulars on a US 2. I also, when I did my husband's socks that I showed you before, those are also on a US 2. I'm going to cast on a pair of socks. I think actually in this So Happy Jane, I have some leftovers in the Cabin in the Woods colorway. I think I'm gonna cast on a sock, and I've got Knitter's Pride Carbons that I just purchased in a US 1. So I'm excited to try those out. Okay, and my last whip of the time is one I started last night. Again, a project I've started and stopped and started and stopped and frogged in several different colorways. I've gotten halfway through the project and didn't like my color combination. So it's a labor of love, but I'm really excited about the colors that I came up with for this. This is Truly Myrtle's Dirty Lace shawl. Y'all, I've done this and the dotted race so many times frogging it that I was just like, I'm not gonna be a shawl knitter. I just can't do it. I can knock out a hat. I had done like 1 or 2 pairs of socks at this point. I can do some socks, but I've done lots of scarves and like I said, lots of gifts. Headbands. Headbands are so easy. You do them, they're so fast, especially if you do them in a thicker weighted yarn. This is also my entrance into, both of these projects were my entrance into fingering. So I just don't really think I got how long it takes and how much you really need to think about and plan out your projects if you're kind of anal like I am. When it comes to like a project that I'm making for myself, like I want it to be something that I'm gonna wear, especially if I pay the indie Dyer price. I mean, it's pricey yarn. It's, you're talking about between $26 and $40+ a skein. And this calls for 4 skeins of yarn at like, 400 yards a skein, man. Like, that's a lot of yarn. So I'm really excited about the color combination I came up with. I actually purchased this yarn for a different project. I was gonna start a Caitlin Hunter t-shirt, sweater, pullover, short sleeve, whatever. And I just didn't like it in that context. But all the yarn that I'm using together now is what I was gonna use for that sweater, but I like it better as the shawl. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm so happy about this. I'm not very far. Like I said, I started yesterday. Of course, I'm like, I threw this in my bag when my toddler was like freaking out about something. So look at that lace, you guys. Oh, it's so pretty. I've got my little progress keeper right here. This is a little Hogwarts progress keeper that my husband, can you see? Whatever. My husband got it for me for Mother's Day along with this project bag. I don't remember the Etsy shop because I send him a lot of things that I like throughout the year so that he knows like what I am interested in. So if I can find it, I'll link it. But this project bag is so great. You could definitely keep a sweater quantity in here. I have way too much yarn in here, like way more than I need for this project. I just haven't decided how long I want to make it. But it also came with this little notions pouch, which I'm so excited for because I was keeping my notions in like an old ratty makeup bag, like this big that I got on Ipsy like 100 years ago when I used to have an Ipsy subscription. The next thing I need is a tin to put in here because if you can hear, all my like, you see my arms, all my like tapestry needles and stitch markers, they're like loose in here. So I need a tin for that, but I've got one in my Amazon cart. It says something stash, like, I don't know. if and when I buy it, I'll show you guys next time. But so this yarn is so fun, y'all. This is also So Happy Jane in that same like fingering. I think it's a 75-25 superwash merino. If it's either 75-25 or 80-20 superwash merino nylon blend. Y'all, it's called Movie Night. I'm not a purple person. I think the reason why I like this purple so much, it's not the purple, it's really the variegation. I mean, you've got navy in there, you've got lilac, you've got like this rusty brown and these shots of gold. I mean, it is so fun, and it really comes out, I think, so well in the lace. Look at that. Also makes it really easy to count your stitches, because the let's see if I can show you, because the contrast is so stark on your stitches that you're like, oh, that navy stitch is 10, okay. And then if you have to go back and recount, you're like, well, I was at 10 here, 11, 12, whatever. That's cool. So I'm gonna do that. The color combination I'm doing is pretty fun, I think. I don't know how I'm gonna hold all these. Here we go. That looks kind of crazy. But, so you've got this with all of the coppers in it. And this, it stuck on my button. You're rude. This is Stress Knits Yarn, Sweet Disposition, 80-20 superwash merino nylon. It's her favorite base. It's 400 yards. So look at how beautiful that is. So you've got the purple flecks, the brown, some peachy pinks. There's blue in there, y'all, and some really fun golds and yellows. That's gonna be a great contrast. This is So Happy Jane. Can you tell I love So Happy Jane? This is her, like, actually this is that I was showing you earlier, her silky cashmere, which is 70-20-10, so 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% silk in pistachio cream. Not really sure where that is coming from, because in my mind pistachios you like think mint, but this is like a beautiful cream. You've got purples and flecks of red and gold. I mean, it is just delicious. So like, come on. I mean, it's just gonna look really well together. And then I just have a basic tonal. Actually, it's a solid. It's not even a tonal. This is Sugar Bush Nanaimo. That's definitely wrong. I don't know how you say that. I think it's their chocolate. Yeah, chocolate colorway. Something I got on sale like a long time ago, Fuzzy Goat. It's a fingering. It's a baby alpaca mulberry silk blend, and 80-20 baby alpaca mulberry silk. This is a 50 gram. I have 2 of them. So it's 164 yards per 50 grams. And it says chocolate, but it really reads like a copper to me, like a dark copper. And so I think, so my plan is, okay, I'm gonna show you this again. So this is the schematic. So my plan is lace, and then you'll do like a striping with the lace in the next color, and then you'll move into another lace, and then you'll do a striping. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm very excited about this. I'm very, very excited about this. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. This has turned into like an hour-long thing. I literally have to go get my kid up from his nap now. I'm really excited to be doing this. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm really starting this podcast because I'm seeking community. I work from home, usually either with my husband here working from home or by myself with my toddler. Gotta put my pattern in there. I don't have many friends down here in Tampa. I built a really solid friend group in Tallahassee. I went to college there, but then I honestly don't have very many friends from college. because I've changed so much as a human. So I just have a select few from college, but then a good number of friends that I met when I started my real life and my adult job life. But none of them knit, none of them are makers. So I'm looking for community in the making world. I hope to be a friend to you. I mean, I literally watch these women, these like powerhouse making women, and I just feel like their friend. And I hope to like meet many of them one day. Like I would die if I met Kristin Lehrer or Andrea Mowry or Stacy Elstone or Jaclyn Salem or the grocery girl. Like I would die in excitement. I would probably cry. I'm a big crier. I'm a crier when I'm happy. I'm a crier when I'm moody. I try not to cry too much when I'm sad, but it happens. But I'm a big happy crier. So anyway, that's a tangent, an aside. I'm a rambler. I just want to find some other people to be my people in this making world. So I just want to say thank you for joining me. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the whole thing. Okay, bye.